Greatest Sports Legends host Michael Jordan talks with a man who was once one of the most dangerous receivers in football. His sprinter's speed and steady hands enabled him to become the all-time leading receiver in NFL history. His name, Don Maynard. Don Maynard is best known for his days with the New York Jets of the old AFL. He and quarterback Joe Namath formed a passing combination that was nearly impossible to stop. Host Michael Jordan spoke with Don about his career, a career that actually began in the NFL back in 1958.
Don, you began your pro career with the New York Giants in the NFL. What kind of experience was that for you?
Well, coming to New York was unbelievable. Looking at the first building I saw had more bricks in it than some of the towns I lived in. But, you know, as a rookie, to be indoctrinated into football like I was under great coaches, Lombardi and Landry, and then on a team with class people. Their whole team was class. We won the championship that year, but Gifford and Rote and Emlyn Tennell and Sam Huff and Webster, it was really tremendous for me. I was naturally disappointed the next year when I got released by the Giants. They changed coaches. Lombardi went to Green Bay, and a gentleman by the name of Allie Sherman came in, and he didn't like my style of running, so I was kind of released and went on from there into Canada.
After playing in Canada for a season, Don Maynard returned home in 1960 when a new league called the AFL was formed. The New York team was named the Titans, and they were coached by Sammy Baugh, who made Don Maynard the first player ever signed by the Titans. On the field, Maynard distinguished himself by catching 72 passes in his first year. And in the succeeding years, he proved to be one of the league's premier receivers. Eventually, the team changed ownership and became the Jets. New head coach Weeb Ewbank took over and made wholesale changes. Don Maynard was one of the few Titans to remain.
Despite all the distractions off the field, you enjoyed a great success as a flanker. How were you able to perform so well?
Well, I think it's just we all want to do things we like to do, and I remember one time they decided they'd send me a contract to play football. And I went to the Giant camp as a rookie, and I was carrying about 4 bags, a big old foot locker, and the guy asked me, he said, "You sure got a lot of luggage?" And I said, "Well, I tell you what, I come to stay." I just try to keep improving whatever I could to make myself better, and naturally you catch balls all day long, and I had a couple of drills. I used one eye shut to catch it. That way you lose your depth perception, but it makes you look the ball longer into your hand, so I didn't miss many, but I had good teachers, and I think naturally pushing the attitude thought of it makes a lot of difference for an athlete to want to excel and do better than maybe he really is.
Don, I guess most players have a favorite play, or in your case, a favorite pattern that they like to run. What were your favorites?
I just liked any of them. To tell you the truth, I just always felt fortunate when they called a play, and I like a square in. That's down about 10, 12 yards, and you square in real good. And since I was a wide receiver, I was out there so wide that hopefully I wasn't going to get too worried about going across the middle. But I'd hit the second lane a lot of times, and you always try to get ready to catch the ball, and you might as well catch it because you're going to get hit anyway. I was going across the middle one time. I remember got hit by a buddy of mine. Can you imagine that? A buddy, Austin Gonsolin from Baylor, played at Denver, and he caught me right in the sternum. And I looked back for the ball, and I knew if I caught it, well, I might get killed. But if I knew I didn't, I'd get to play tomorrow. And before I could make a decision, I'd already caught it, and he caught me right in the sternum. And I went, "Ah, ah," and that's all the sound I could get out, you know, and your teammates, they kind of say, "Well, you hurt, and I just, "Ah, ah," you know. And you get back in the huddle, and they keep saying, "Well, you want to substitute?" And that's all I could say, just barely there, you know, but I was about to die. But they say, "Oh, he's not hurt, let's get on with the play."
Namath's arrival signaled a drastic change in the Jets' offensive strategy.
Well, he kind of guaranteed it, you might say. When he came along, our passing game just improved so much, and his ability, and then we had some great receivers, George Sauer, Pete Lamons, Bake Turner and myself. As a matter of fact, the three of us as receivers, and Namath made the All-Star game one year, and that's the first time it ever been happened in the Pro Bowl. And I think we probably had as fine a passing attack that ever played the game of football. At the same time, the balance of the running game with Matt Snell and Boozer was unreal. Our game with Joe just made it, you might say, untouchable in a way, and then our defense came along pretty good.
Don, following the 1968 season, the Jets and the Raiders once again faced each other. This time it was for the AFL title. What kind of feelings existed between the two teams?
Well, we always had some good, hard feelings with the Raiders. The big thing, the rivalry, is what makes football, I think. But after the Heidi Bowl, well, we sure wanted to win this one. This was the biggest game of our career and of the season. Naturally, it's the only way we could get to the Super Bowl. I always felt like we had a hard time when we played in Oakland. We'd play against 11 players, and I always kiddingly said 5 officials. But somehow we never could win out there. And this game, I think, because of past situations, we just had to win it somehow. We had to make ourselves the champion of the AFL.
Oakland threatened in the final seconds, but this lateral pass was recovered by New York. The Jets were on their way to the Super Bowl.
You beat Oakland, and then you went on to the Super Bowl, a meeting with the Baltimore Colts, who was favored by 17 points. How did the guys feel about that?
Well, we were really confident after watching the film. Why we even felt more confident, I think, because films never lie to you. They tell you what you want to know and what you don't want to show, you might say. But we felt we could beat them. Our tight end, Pete Lamons, made the comment to us along during the week that you ought to quit showing us the film, we're going to get overconfident. And naturally, we all felt like that. And then Joe made the comment a little bit out to the news media, and his comment kind of stuck. And then after he said, we guarantee it, well, we knew we was on the spot, and we just kind of had to win, you know.
Namath came through on his pregame prediction as the Jets shocked the Colts 16-7. Thereby becoming the first AFL team to win a Super Bowl.
Winning the Super Bowl certainly did a lot for the AFL, but I'm sure that you must have felt some type of satisfaction considering all the things that you had to go through.
Well, it was great, especially in New York, where I'd once played with the Giants and NFL, and then now with the AFL, the new league, we just won the Super Bowl. And I think it made everybody in the nation kind of realize that there was another league, and our boys had just whipped their boys, so to speak. So it created the interest. I think it woke up a lot of people that, hey, those other guys have finally gotten as good as we are today anyway.
By the end of the 1971 season, he was just 28 catches away from the record.
Don, towards the end of your career, you were approaching the NFL all-time reception record held by Raymond Berry. Was that a record that kept you going, providing additional motivation for you?
I don't think so, really. I think records are made to be broken. At the same time, it kind of gives a guy something to reach for, but I don't think it ever took away from any of my play. I just wanted to go out and do the best, and as time went on, you got kind of closer to different ones. And I remember when I broke the yardage record, to show a little bit of the fact that I didn't kind of rest on my laurels. The next 7 games I played after breaking the yardage record, I had 100-yard games plus for 7 consecutive games. So records are just out there, and hopefully a lot of guys can share them, but at the same time, my name might be in the book, but it really applies to all the guys on the team that got us there or got me there, and I feel very appreciative and thankful for that.
Did you consider Oakland to be a good luck charm for you?
Well, I think now that you mention it, it probably turned out that way some. I've always felt like luck was kind of like your left hand. Just use it, but I always had good games against Oakland, and it turned out pretty good, and I was always a challenge to play them because you knew you was in for a heck of a day, and if you beat them, you beat one of the best.
Although you might not have wanted all the attention that went along with setting the record, you must have felt some sense of pride and satisfaction after the years of hard work and dedication that you put in.
Well, it's great to be a part of a winning profession, one that helps a lot of youngsters to portray their life in later years and give us a lot of direction. It keeps a lot of people busy on Sunday and arguments and all that goes on, who's the best and all, but football will always be a great sport, and I'm glad that I had the pleasure of being a part of it.
In 1987, Don Maynard finally received a long-awaited honor when he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I came to play and I came to stay. Football was the game, Country Don was the name. I made a mark and I became a star with a lot of help from near and far. There was good ones and great ones I played with and against. Thank you, good Lord, for that wonderful chance. As I played my part many times, even late after dark, I don't have to look back because I played it with my heart. The direction from where I came resulted in a whole lot of fame. I played the best, and I believe I passed the test. I'm glad this over. I need some rest. God loves you. I love you too.
Don, I want to thank you for coming to La Casa and being a part of the greatest sports legends. It's been really fun going over the old AFL, and I can see why Joe Namath was so great. I want to thank you for coming.
Well, I appreciate it. It's been great being here, and I tell you what, I'm just proud to kind of be in a group of guys that's probably in y'all's library.
Thank you very much.